The biggest advice I have to dads is try to manage your time well. You actually learn more from failing than from winning. Failure brings growth.
Today's guest is Bret Suffis, president and owner of Lil Athlete Sports, an organization that helps kids discover confidence, teamwork, and joy through play.
I just love seeing children succeed and having fun at what they do. I could go in a room of 100 children and be totally comfortable. I could go in a room of 100 adults and be freaking out. Let kids be kids and just enjoy the process. Because if you say something or if you get out of line, it's going to affect your child's process down the road. And then they're going to grow up to hate the sport. Let's dance.
Welcome to the Dad Up podcast, redefining what it means to be a dad, one story at a time. Today's guest is Bret Suffis, president and owner of Lil Athlete Sports, an organization that helps kids discover confidence, teamwork, and joy through play. Bret has spent years coaching young athletes, building programs that brings families together, and teaching parents how sports can become a language of connection. We're talking about fatherhood, leadership, and how showing up on the field and off of it builds legacy. Bret, how are you? And thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. I'm very thankful to be here.
Absolutely. So look, we always take it from the top. So you built a company that's impacted thousands of kids and families.
Yes.
What first drew you to youth sports, and what moment made you realize this could be more than just a program? It could be a purpose.
Yeah, well, I had the luxury of working since 2005 with young children. I worked at a company called West Sports. It was local in Huntington, New York. I dealt with kids from all different ages, primarily 20 months. So the really parent and me classes all the way up to about age 10.
Wow.
I loved how just being their first opportunity at sports, whether it be soccer or baseball. Worked for that company for a few years, I would say about 8 years. And then I took that company over. The owners were moving down to Florida. They were great, very good to learn from, to be quite honest. I knew the kids' sports background, had kids of their own. So that was really cool. And it was 2013, same year I got married. So it was
I heard
a
you
lot.
have a cute kids. I heard you're a dad, or I heard you have a couple kids. Is that true?
I have 4. So
Wow.
I have an 11.
You're not
I
doing
have
man to
9.
man. You're deep in the zone defense.
Definitely zone defense has to work because man to man I'm done with. But it's
Someone's going deep, and you're not covering them. Yeah.
I'm definitely not. I'm going really deep in there. So 2013, I really wanted to work with this age group. I was going for my physical education degree in Queens College and had the opportunity presented at me. I was like, do this or really be a classroom teacher. I decided against the classroom teacher. I really wanted to focus on building something that for younger children that I feel was missing. It started out as soccer and baseball for young children, and now we currently
You
offer.
think that's the typical point of entry for kids? They start soccer and baseball. Like, what are the typical sports, and what ages are you seeing like the first introduction?
Yeah, so it's very common in our industry that soccer is our first sport that we put our kids in. It's easier because they can have a lot of kids in the class. Basically, it's a ball in front of them, so parents love the vibe, and that's great. That's a good first sport. However, I thought it was very limiting that one sport was only introduced. So that's why I was like, hey, like soccer's great and we love it. It's one of our core sports, but there's so much more.
What else do you like? What other sports for kids, and what age groups?
Yeah, so baseball, I would say, is up there in terms of popularity. We start at 2 years old with baseball. Lacrosse, being on the island, of course, that's a fan favorite, of course.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, it's like, quick pause. It's like, pronounce the following words: Longisland, Long Island, right?
Long Island, right? Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, I'm originally from Queens, but I did move out to Long Island. When I got married, we kind of kept moving further east. So yes, I mean, lacrosse is really big. We have basketball, which is huge too for us. And then we have hockey, football. And so we have our 6 core sports that we offer.
So how's the football side? Like with some of the, was it CTE and all the different things?
Yeah.
Listen, God has blessed me with 2 girls. I did, Bret, pray for the boy. But I wouldn't change anything for the world. I am a girl dad through and through. They play soccer. They're tough. They're cool. They're the best.
Love
But,
it.
I always wonder, like a little Russell, could he have ever played football? But now, like I would have allowed it. I know a lot of people a little bit more sensitive. So what does
Yeah.
that look like now, football?
So we start them really young. So we're really non-contact. It's really just getting the skills used to in all of our sports program, for that matter. With football, we do have a small mini flag football game at the end, non-contact, but we teach them the skills first. Which, if we did contact sports, I think it's really important to teach them. Obviously, if it's football, how to tackle, how to receive the ball, how to throw, before actually putting them in pads and just going over the fundamentals and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Do you play anything? What sports is your forte?
I played. I'm 42 years old now, so I'm coaching pretty much my kids. I'm coaching my teams through the Little Athlete brand. So I played basketball and baseball growing up. Those were my two sports that I played.
Yeah, I was a football guy, but honestly, talk about flag. Every time I hear the words flag, I think of some 40-year-old guy on Turkey Bowl, right? Thanksgiving, like, oh, did you hear Bill tore his hamstring? I'm like, what?
Let's
He
go.
doesn't do anything, right? Literally. But let me ask you, so Little Athletes isn't just drills, it's life lessons disguised as games.
Yes.
So what have you learned about sports that shape character, both for kids and for parents watching from the sidelines, which is just as big?
So this is one of the things that I say to parents, that their children are, as they grow, enjoy this moment because it goes by so quick. It's so competitive out there. So we tend to break it down to where it's skill based. They're playing with peers. So the socialization aspect of it is really good, actually, because our games are all team oriented. So it's not the one child's doing something, eight children standing around doing nothing. We're playing together. So it teaches them life lessons, especially preschool age children. They're in the classrooms, they're learning to share, they're learning to obviously take turns. So we kind of build that with our program as well through obstacle course play, through we do group stretches in the beginning, and then at the end we do more team based where we bring out a parachute, we do races. So yeah, so it's the cognitive ability where we're teaching them the sports and the skills. It's the social aspect where they're playing with children their age and they have to take turns, which obviously in the age it's kind of hard because it's always
Yeah.
kind of me first, and which totally normal, but we try to break it down.
Yeah, what you reference reminds me of presence is power. So, to your point, you brought up right when we started talking about the specific thing, how time flies, right? Like you have four kids. Do you remember a day when you had one, maybe even none?
No, no, I don't.
Like
I
a reality, right? When that golf ball between your eyes didn't exist, that type of thing for me. My oldest is turning 10 next year. And I don't know if I'm having a midlife crisis, but it's crazy. What can you specific What can you speak specifically to, like, being present? So some of the big foundation cores of Data Up is we have something called the Daily Data of Success. It's every day doing something intentional to show up for your kids because, to our point here, time flies. So same thing. I've had moments because I'm an entrepreneur just like you are, and I have a mortgage company, and my daughter's playing, the Northport, I think you call it the Pit. So,
Awesome.
Awesome. But Daniela is going to score, and what happens? I get a call, take the call, speak to a client, miss the goal. And I feel like I really dropped the ball, proverbial speaking. So what have you seen with parents and dads, and what type of advice can you give? Because I couldn't agree any more with what you first said. Time flies. Time, I think my grandfather, Poppy, he always mentioned time gets faster as you get older. What can dads do to be more intentional, more present in those moments that you can't replicate and do again?
Yeah, it's a struggle. I'm not gonna lie. With four kids, three really active in sports. Just for instance, I coach my 9-year-old in travel baseball, and I coach him through the town. When he has a game, I get texts, phone calls, obviously from work. I try to really have time dedicated, whether it be before school when they're still sleeping. I try to take my hour to kind of answer back emails, and then when they go to sleep, I try to take my time to do the same thing. However, as you know, when you're on the soccer field or baseball field or wherever that may be, you really can't control these things sometimes happening. I'm on the first base line coaching my kid, and I get a call. I have to take it. So if it's important, so I step off to the side. The biggest advice I have to dads is try to manage your time well. Try to do things when you can manage the time in the morning. If you know you have an afternoon game that you're either coaching or seeing your kids play, try to get done the stuff in the morning, or set aside time where you can be worker, entrepreneur, and set aside time where you could be dad. And it's very hard to blend the two. It happens to me a lot. It could be even my kid is in Queens playing soccer, and I'm coaching this sport. My daughter's in gymnastics, so she could be. That happened this weekend. I was three places at once, so it's very very hard. Just if I had one phrase,
Let alone
manage
being a
time.
husband too, right?
Yeah, manage time. That's the biggest thing. Don't try to cram everything into just one time, but just have a time and a place for everything.
Yeah, it's funny. I was in the gym this morning and I was thinking about us speaking today, and I was thinking about
Yeah.
like the whole concept of like selling out. Like when you go to the gym, if you're
Yeah.
gonna do the reps, like sell out, do like don't stop until you can't do anymore. So to me,
Yeah.
it's if you're gonna be with your kids, it's almost like you want to quote unquote sell out. What does that mean? Just be there, be intentional,
Yeah.
give it your all. And I agree. What if I told you waking up 30 minutes or an hour earlier on the weekends when I have my kids and working when
Love
they're
it.
sleeping would move the needle so I feel better when I'm at the games.
Yes.
I actually for a while I don't know if the word's prescribed to organized chaos. I feel I'm like,
So that's actually my nickname that my other coaches and just anyone who knows me is organized chaos. So that's funny
yeah,
that you mentioned that. I'm not even joking.
I don't have any tattoos. I should, but it would be like, hey, he lives his life with organized chaos. But I've read, like Dad Are Up and, being a great dad, this is a passion of mine. So I've done a lot of the research and studying, and I've
Yeah.
seen they ask some serious people, CEOs of huge companies, how are you there? How do you recommend entrepreneurs and, employees and everyone, how are they present? How do you recommend they be present? You do the whole, to your point, when you're there, you're with your kids. You take off your
Yes.
entrepreneur business owner hat. And then in the morning or at night, you do the bit. That's one strategy.
Yeah.
I've heard people say when my kids played high school and college sports and I went to all their games, and I don't even think they cared that I wasn't paying attention. Just the fact that I was there, it's not a
True.
big deal. Do I believe little girls with daddy there not paying attention? That doesn't go very far. And then there was always which is what I deploy, organized chaos, which is to your point, right? I'm there, I'm doing work calls, I'm holding the kid over my shoulder, they're scoring the goal,
Oh yeah.
so I'm not going to tell you by the end of the night I'm not frazzled, and there's a bit of guilt there. It's like, what would be
Yeah.
better if you have that overlap, but you're not killing it on both ends. You're not doing a great job at work on that call, and you're not being a present parent, which honestly is what my kids are looking for.
Yeah.
But then also, is it like, so you're not doing 100% of both, you're kind of half, whatting both. But if you're present with your kids, you're not doing the work thing. So there's the guilt, like I could have answered the call, in my business in sales and mortgage, if I don't answer, the next guy I might lose, several $1,000s. Or if I do answer the call, now my daughter feels that I missed her goal, and, I'm not going to potentially, like, soccer's ending right now. So organized chaos is what I'm deploying. I just don't know if it's the best strategy.
I agree with you. I do the organized chaos too in my own way. So I definitely feel for you, man.
So running youth programs, it means leading coaches, kids, and parents at the same time. So how do you build a culture that keeps fun, safety, and growth all in balance? And how do you model leadership that coaches can pass on to the next generation?
So I'm very fortunate that the coaches that I have working for me, they have been very loyal. I've been loyal to them too. I think flexibility in my line of work is key. A lot of Many of our coaches, they're transitional employees because they're going through college, they're getting their degrees, so they're using our platform to build experience for the bigger and better thing down the road, of course, their career path, but they are making a difference in kids' lives and parents, because I get a lot of emails from parents saying, "Oh my goodness, I know you're not always at every location because we have a few different locations on Long Island, but they email me and they say, "Hey, Coach Beth is doing an amazing job. Just want to let you know she's building the trust in the class. She's organizing activities. She's very responsible." So it's nice to see that from parent feedback. So in terms of the culture that I try to build a culture where I treat our coaches like a family. I'm a big family guy. So if somebody has a flat tire, if somebody's sick, I don't want them to be afraid to contact me and say, like, I'm on the side of the road. I need to change my tire. Like, I can't get to work this morning. I'm very flexible and I'm very understanding. And with parents, in terms of our program, I feel like we are very understanding that sometimes children get sick. They have a birthday party to go to. They may have to miss a class here and there. So we provide them with a makeup, class where that they're not losing their experience. They're just going to another class. So being flexible, being understanding, I feel like those traits for the coaches, the parents, I would say that's our biggest strength, I would say, to this date. Yeah.
Yeah, so it sounds good like you hire yourself leaders and they
Yes.
have a huge influence on the kids. So it's, one of the benefits of me sitting in this seat is I've had the opportunity to speak with some doctors and professors and social sciences and people that have written books and
Wow.
amazing, amazing people. And,
Great.
one of the topics that came up was if a father may or may not be home or present or doing as good of a job as we collectively would have liked him to do, what about the influence of a teacher or a coach, and could that potentially help or take the place of or that missing piece in the kid's life and the correlation of that? So based on what you're saying, it's really cool to hear that's actually happening in practice.
Yeah, it's happening even at the younger age where the parents are present at their classes, because our classes, the parents have to either participate if they're really young or just be on the sidelines. So even though the parents are still there, we're giving them that impact where they identify the sport with Coach Meg or Coach David or Coach Brett or whatever. Like where their identification of that sport. So I had a kid actually say, "Oh yeah, I was looking for you on TV." It was like a Yankee game. I was like, "Thank you very much. I appreciate the compliment, but I'm not that good where you're going to see me on TV." But that just goes to show you that the impact we have and that we represent whatever sport that they choose to play. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, listen, you seem like a really cool, chill guy, to that point. So my sister and my nieces, my brother, and they live in Smithtown. So my niece is 7. She plays soccer. They're playing behind St. Patrick's Church, ironically, the church.
Yep.
So, our next kind of question for you is, and I'll lead with the story is, so listen, my youngest, she's aggressive too. I think it's either the young one is like a pushover or they're like aggressive. My youngest is aggressive. Like she is like, I'm not saying she's Serena Williams, but she's very, very good at what she does in soccer. So, and you've seen it more than me, like the 7-year-olds, they're pushing maybe a little pull of a hair by accident. Mm-hmm. So we're also, mind you, we're behind a church, and this dad on the other team, I don't know what team they were playing, freaks out. And listen, we've talked about, I'm a Jet fan, you're a Jet fan. We've seen fans freak out. Literally, this dad runs to the field and starts saying the F word, dropping the F-bomb. There must have been, honestly, Brett,
wow,
300 people behind the church. Pin drop, like letting it go. You're going to let her effing pull my kid's hair, freaked out. And I'm seeing even now, we're getting emails before this season. Like, if you as a parent kind of are inappropriate, we're going to fine you.
Yeah.
So, like, what's your advice to parents? What's your advice to dads about keeping sports healthy instead of high pressure? And what type of mistakes do you see them make? Like, what's the right type of encouragement sound like? I mean, granted, that's exactly what not to do we're not in the Olympics. My 7-year-old, I'm not about to drop the F-bomb and embarrass myself, but what have you seen?
Okay, yeah. So first off, that's crazy, but it's not surprising. So I'll answer this in 2 different phases. From the Little Athlete side, from our our developmental classes side, right? So we don't get a ton of competitiveness when it comes to parents. However, we do get occasionally that dad or that mom that if they don't throw the ball a certain way, if they don't kick a certain ball, or if they're and this is at 3 or 4 years old, they do say something to their kid, or they'll just make a comment after class. And I'm just like, look, let kids be kids. Like for now, like let kids be kids. Like, enjoy this age. And then to phase 2 of that question, I have a program called the Long Island Wolves Baseball. The Long Island Wolves Baseball, long story short, is a travel baseball prep baseball program that gets the kids ready for the next step. So we have a team that they're 6 years old, turning 7, and the parents want like competitive, like they want the next step, and they should. They're good. But long story short, I keep telling them that enjoy this phase because it gets only competitive as you get down the travel ball route, or even in-house, like through your little league teams or your club teams. There is going to be that parent. So I tell parents, just enjoy the moment, let kids be kids, and just enjoy the process. Because if you say something or if you get out of line, it's gonna affect your child's process down the road. And then they're gonna grow up to hate the sport. So that's we want to encourage. We don't want to have them basically hate the sport growing up that they do like to play, but their parent is making it so they don't.
Aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like my daughter, I don't know. I think of myself when I was, and we spoke about how Williamsport, a lot of pressure.
Oh yes,
You
we're
want
going
to,
through
I
that right
remember
now with my son. Yep.
exactly. You want to make it to Pennsylvania. I remember we got the hats, all like the pins, and it's a really cool experience. But I felt like there was so much pressure in my early, what is that, 10, 12, 11, 12,
Yep.
just to be a great baseball player. And you're just like coming into your own as a man. So my daughter, who's 9, like, you tell me your opinion on this advice. I just say, like, look,
Yeah.
Daniela,
Yeah.
just have fun. Because at the end of the day, we're here for you to have fun. She puts a lot of pressure on herself, like I do or I did, with everything. She's a standout flute player. I play the saxophone. But like I
Oh no.
feel like I've noticed a trend that she gets very nervous, anxious, stressed, overthinks before she does anything. And she's very talented, but I've kind of coached her up and like talking to myself 30 some odd years ago, like, listen, like
Yeah.
little Andrew, if
Yep.
you're this moment, you have to have fun because why are we here if you don't enjoy it? And I understand and you're great at it and we love it, but like that's been my advice to her. Do you have anything you could add to that for me or like type of advice when you have kids that are talented, but they get so stressed out?
Yes, so I do have that at home. I have that at home. I usually say have fun with what you're doing and just compete. That's the biggest thing. Just compete. Like it's not always going to go your way. And I was like, just have fun, enjoy what you're doing, and compete. That's the biggest thing because when you compete, you usually growth comes with it. So you actually learn more from failing than from winning. So that's my biggest thing is like take the failure and don't push the failure back, but really say, okay, fine, you know what? We may not won that game or that championship game or whatnot, right? But learn from that experience and just grow. So with failure comes growth. So that's the biggest, I would say, a phrase that I say is compete, 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 and don't let failures basically take you from here to here because it's going to be very hard to climb up if you're already so down on yourself. So
Yeah.
I just really say that stuff. I fully believe it. Failure brings growth.
So we're a big, I'm a big guy. Hopefully I can meet you one day. I'll give you a big
Yeah,
bro
man,
hug. So we're a big, like, physical
let's do
touch
it.
family. Yeah. But, so with my daughter, I kind of slow her down, make sure we get the eye contact. Sometimes I feel like kids
Yeah.
with the Roblox and the YouTube shorts, right? They're all over the place. So I'm just like, Daniel, like, deep breath, look at her. I'm like, I love you. Just let's have fun. And I always use the term fly around. Just fly around. Fly around, have a good time. My college football coach would say, fly around. So like it just kind of stuck. But
Awesome.
yeah, that's kind of to your point. I agree. It's if you're 9 years old and have a bad soccer game and it destroys your weekend, that's something to kind of work on. So I'm going to take that home now to the Russell house. So we're going to have a conversation because we have like another weekend and then you have Thanksgiving, the soccer tournaments. So
Yes.
I'm going to kind of bring that into my dadding game. So I appreciate that. So you've definitely coached long enough to see kids become adults. So what's the most rewarding feedback you ever received from a parent or a former player? And personally, how has leading little athletes changed you as a father and a man?
Wow, that's a heavy question. I love it.
Yeah. I told
So
you first you need the bro hug,
you got the
a little
bro
pat on the
hug.
back, and let's go for it.
Oh yeah, man. I like it. I like it. All right. So yeah, so I especially from the children that I've had, I would say as of 3 or 4, now some children are starting to graduate high school and go to college. So I do get
Yeah.
occasional
They're
Instagram.
driving you to the game.
Yeah, definitely showing my age right now. But yeah, but I'm actually a recent case, the catcher from Hopog that got drafted by the Tigers. His name
Wow.
is Oliveto, right? So anyway, long story short, I coached him for years. He was actually I was his first travel baseball coach. And so yeah, so when he got drafted by the Tigers this year, just the mom was very, very, very happy, and like she reached out, I reached out to her, and it was very rewarding. Again, it was just very nice to see because you know that you had some impact, and just on his career. And I get emails from like, hey, my child is now like starting varsity goalie, or like she's doing great, she got a scholarship for lacrosse to play North Carolina. So it's like when you hear that, it's very rewarding. I love it because that's our whole premise of Little Athletes really is really just to expose children to different sports, to a variety of, like, you don't always have to just play soccer or basketball or baseball. You could try a little bit of everything and then kind of collect it and be like, okay, fine. I love this sport. I'm going to grow. And or we've had where children played a multi-sport class and they just don't like soccer or don't like basketball. So it's, in one end we steer them to a sport that they like, and the other end too is that before parents spend thousands of dollars, kind of forcing Johnny or Beth into a sport before realizing I don't like it, they could just take a class or two with us, and then they're like, hey, I'm more foot-eye coordinated, I'm more hand-eye coordinated. So it's very rewarding though to see that. Yeah.
Yeah, so it sounds like you really put in the work. You're
Yes.
very intentional. You're very present. So, like, what are some of the strategies? And it's nice to hear, the joy of seeing something through. It's like being a dad, where from the second they're born, right? Like, I had the benefit of skin to skin first, and I can't even tell you, Brett. I mean, you're a dude, you're a bro, we're Jet fans. Like, the feeling of holding your daughter by your chest and being like, it was the wildest feeling of my life. Like, I am in charge here of your safety, of your love. I'm
Yeah.
going to take care of you. Nothing will ever happen to you. It was the craziest feeling. But even for you, you get to see all these kids throughout. So something you do is magical. So what is, like, one key thing that you think you do? It might be innate. It might just be you were born with it. Like, for me, I just really care about people's feelings. I don't know if you call it an empath. Like, it's just my nature. You have a huge heart and big teddy bear. So what is it about you specifically? What is, like, one thing you think maybe you were born with, of why you're so good at it and why you get so much joy from it?
Oof, this is a tough one again. I love the questions though. It's great. I would say I just love seeing children succeed and having fun at what they do. I love it with a passion. I could go in a room of 100 children and be totally comfortable. I could go in a room of 100 adults and be freaking out, not gonna lie. But I could go in a room of 100 children and I just want enjoyment. I want them to have fun at what they do. And that's one compliment that parents, it seems to be the common thread that I get, is that you have the patience. You have that innate ability to, like, relate to kids, no matter if they're young, parent and me class is 20 months, or if they're older where they're entering elementary age groups. I feel like I have that ability to relate and just, yeah, that would.
Yeah, so that hits me, like, all in the feels, because it just reminds me, like, and again, I'm a big dude, but, like, big tough guy over here. But my mom
Love
always
it.
just
I
tell
love it.
me growing up that I've kid think. It's exactly what you're saying is,
Yeah.
I just have the
Yep.
ability, just like you. I have tons of patience with kids. I
Yeah.
get them. So, like, I think I was, like, the first ever class dad in Northport. So somehow
That's
I
great.
volunteered to be. It's awesome to be class dad, which is cool. So, I was just there for Halloween, and, I'm getting kids chasing me around, hitting me with, like, the sticky hand thing. Remember those things? You whack people, like that
Oh, I
frog
love those
sticky hand
things.
thing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Love them. So I'm not going to tell you, Brett, I have the same patience for adults. But what I will tell you is, similar to you, it's super cool having these conversations with, people like you, entrepreneurs who also have the same kid think. Because for me, I get extreme joy being on the soccer field, seeing my daughter see me, seeing her, and then seeing other parents do the same thing, loving
Yes.
on their kids, and their kids seeing that. Like, that to me is extreme joy. So we're going to hit into our Flex Fire segment, Brett. No pressure. Take a deep
Let's
breath.
do
Take
it.
a quick woosah. I'm just going to ask you some short questions, big answers. We're going for the gusto. So, what's one lesson every kid should learn from sports?
Have fun. Just have fun.
What's one thing great coaches and great dads have in common?
Patience.
Complete this sentence. Legacy is.
Everything.
Good answer. What's one parenting myth you wish every sports parent would drop?
My child has to be the best at everything.
What's your favorite sport to watch with your kids?
Basketball.
Most memorable coaching moment. I mean, granted, you had a guy just get drafted, but what's your most memorable coaching moment?
Seeing a pitcher when he was 7 years old, all of a sudden, 10 years later, at a place that I take my son to training for pitching, see that he got committed to a college. That was really awesome.
All right, two fun ones, right? If you could build a dream dad league team, 3 dads, any era, who's on your roster? 3 dads.
Wow. Are we talking like celebrity dads or just in like
Anyone you want. It could be celebrity influencer. It could be like, hey, we're going to destroy the other team. Mop the floor with them. It's up to you. 3 dads.
I'm not big into the celebrity world, so I'm going to stay away from that.
You're a winner.
I try to stay away from that, man. It's kind of condescending to, I say, vote for myself, but I would say myself. I would say my friend Bill, who he's very he's very patient. And then I would say this father on my travel team, Andrew. He focuses on the mental side of sports and how to help his child out with patience and on to the next one. So he gives all those dads, they give him the tools to succeed. Oh yeah.
That's a really cool answer. Thank you for that. And of course, your pregame hype song. It's in your earbuds. No one can hear it. What are you listening to?
For the kids or for myself now? Man, this is a tough one. I love music, but it's really about the kids.
So you're in the car, You're with your 9-year-old, for instance. You're pumping the beats, as they say. What's the song?
All right, I'm going to actually refer to my daughter, who's a competitive gymnast. She jams to the song, we all as a family, and it really gets us hyped up. It's Girl on Fire by Alicia Keys. Because we all belt it in the car. We literally all sing the lyrics and we scream it out. We make it so loud that the cars around us could probably hear us. So yeah. On fire, yep. We just jam it out. So it's
I just remember on either American Idol or one of those shows that was like the little girl that sang that. We actually listened to her version.
Okay.
That's a super cool song.
Oh yeah, no, it's super. I have to tell you, I think it's a deep pressure song. Like it really just it's the hype,
let it out.
But it's also like let's go. It's like now it's game time, but it's not stress time, it's game time. So yeah.
Well, listen, those are cool answers. So Bret, thank you for the work you're doing, helping kids build confidence, helping parents build presence, as we said, and reminding all of us that play is where purpose begins. So we close every episode, and you're going to take us out with our Didarian creed. So like for you guys, whether it's a mission statement or a creed, do you guys have something specific?
For a mission statement, I would just say we just love to give children the opportunity to play a variety of sports, and we let them decide.
Cool beans. All right, so I'm going to hit the creed, and you're going to take us out. You ready?
Let's go.
Let's get ready to rumble. All right, I'm a dadder. I don't chase perfect, I chase presence. I lead quiet and confident. I build my family, my foundation, and my legacy. I take reps in patience, discipline, and love. I break old patterns, not promises. Legacy isn't someday, it's today.
Let's dad this. Woo!
Bret, thank you so much. It was super cool speaking with you. And thank you so much for tuning in, guys. And until next time, we'll see you then.